Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namne, Gora Karuna Swarpaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namne, Gora Karuna Swarpaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namne, Gora Karuna Swarpaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namne, Gora Karuna Swarpaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Krishna.
Madana Mohana, Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana, Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana Mohana.
Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana, Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana Mohana.
Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana, Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna, Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana, Paramahamsa Rama. Madana Mohana,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Haribol Namaste. For so long we have been, almost a year and years back, we have been studying these teachings of Lord Krishna and the saintly person. And now we should check also if we have this understanding. And if we have this understanding, are we applying it in our life? Are we making progress towards the goal? And that goal is to be in harmony with God's will, to do the will of God. Are we moving in that direction, then we can assess ourselves. We can check our mind, our consciousness, our intelligence, our focus, our meditation. So, we will be reminded here by the teachings of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita what separates us from that harmony, from that relationship of complete shelter and protection. Because the meaning or the purpose, we are chanting the Maha Mantra. It is a prayer. We are praying to God. Please kindly engage me in your loving service. Now, since we have been diverted and we are in the wrong direction for so long because of the false ego, it's very hard to be able to be really focused because our mind, we're desire-driven, being directed by the mind. And our quest for happiness is directed upon what we are not and who we are not, and where we cannot really find fulfillment. Because it's based upon shelter of illusion, matter. It's based upon false bodily identification. It's based upon the disease that we are so much, that has inflicted us, did cover us. So, since the spirit soul, what we have described the spirit soul, you, all of us, we belong to the divine nature of the Supreme Person, transcendental, meaning not touched by matter, completely different energy. So, how come we're here? So we should check what had made us come to that point. Meaning the activities we do, the focus, the meditation we do. That's why we have a certain consciousness due to conditioning through what we perceive through the senses, through the mind and our action. So now I'll read this and I'll give you a story of someone in the narrative of the spiritual master, someone who is transcendental, in a transcendental world, in devotion with the Supreme Person. Spontaneously, when that person came in contact with Lord Krishna, it's spontaneous. She does the bidding in harmony, the desire of the Supreme Person. So that is our situation now here in this world. Our situation now is we're not like that. So when one comes in contact to this material energy, the three modes of material nature, and the focus of one's life is simply trying to follow the dictates of the mind, guided and influenced by the three modes of material nature. There is an abyss, there is a quagmire, or what we call, a quicksand that you're in, that you cannot get out because of the consciousness, because of our meditation and activities. It's like when you have an itch, you scratch and scratch and scratch. The more you scratch, the more it gets itchy. And you can never stop scratching because what we're longing for, activities we want to be satiated, to be fulfilled, is directed upon this temporary world, limited world, made out of matter. So yoga means to be in union with the Supreme Person, our true divine nature. So I'll read here the consciousness of someone who is so much engrossed. So there's only two individuals here with different consciousness, the demon and the divine. So we can check where we are. I'm not here to tell who's the demon, who's the divine. But in a truest sense, we are all divine, and the consciousness we have, is it demoniac or godly? So that's the point. Demoniac or godly. Okay? Positive, negative. Okay? So this is the consciousness of someone who is in that consciousness. So Lord Krishna tells Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, O son of Pirtha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. Although divine, spirit, soul, we are here in this body, this machine. And the resultant of our consciousness will be determined by our action and activities. Okay? O son of Pirtha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other is a demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found. So that person is in illusion. Okay? They say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation, and that there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So indirectly they're saying they're God. It's false ego, okay? So we should check if we are in this world, we're really so much covered by the false ego, okay? Which we are not, because we are divine, transcendental. Following such conclusion, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible work meant to destroy the world. So look at our society now, what those individuals who are, what activities they engage in. There are three things you need to survive: clean air, water, and food. So all those businessmen, multinationals, what do? They pollute the air with the environment with toxic matter through these activities they do, and they poison the land. And everybody here sees this world as disposable. The trend is disposable, no accountability. That's why here in Madana you can see how the consciousness of the individual, how she moves, even the teachers. They eat something, throw the wrappers everywhere. Okay? You walk, you see wrappers, plastic, you don't pick it up. Why? You don't care. So it's just on this level, okay? But we're talking here about activities these demons do that endangers us all. What are they really longing to have? Nuclear bombs, missiles, to have control and power, to manipulate, to be able to get natural resources for their purpose, economic development. Just like here in the Philippines, supposedly years back, we're so indebted, they have calculated already that if you are now married, your son, your grandson, their grandson are already indebted. They have to pay the taxes and the loans that the government did loan previously. Now we're in this situation again. Look at the leaders. They're really into material economic development. Look what they're doing. we're in need of food, we're in need of vaccine, we're in need of clean air, water, and food. But what do they build? They use taxpayers' money and just build what? Buildings, 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 buildings. What for? Yeah? They have this office already filled up and can accommodate, can be useful for their work. But they need to carry on, construct and construct, not thinking that these natural resources comes from people's work, blood money, from taxes being forced to us. So those planners can pay what they loan. And the leaders, they just use it in connivance with those who are also hard-hearted, just getting things, They want more, 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 more. Because they are not able to understand that there are laws here. And if you break this law, you'll suffer. Just like the simplest, the teachings in Sri Upanishad, everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is owned and controlled by the Supreme Person. Knowing well for whom they belong, one should only use the quota that is allotted to him. The quota, what is your quota? How big is your stomach? You look at the birds, you see. They come here, sometimes we dry up something there like harvested rice. The bird comes, just eat, then leaves. But if a person comes here, he sees, wow, sacks of rice. He's gonna carry that sack of rice. And not only that, you're walking, you see a wallet. You open it, oh, there's so much, there's money, but there's also the address. What you do, nobody's looking, you keep it. So when you are engaged in this purificatory process of chanting the holy name, we become sensitive. We align ourselves in harmony with the laws of material nature. And we are also in a situation wherein our unlimited craving in our heart becomes satiated because we now direct it in harmony in doing the will of God. The demoniac, taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Unclean work. Everyone wants to enjoy with no accountability. Okay? The trending now is disposable. For example, now in Russia, in Japan, in China, pre-abortion clinic. You go there, free, So those individuals who wanted to enjoy the senses, their unlimited craving, and they want to satisfy this unlimited craving. But there's a resultant. For example, if there's contact between a fertile male and a fertile woman, in body of a male and a man, then there will be progeny. There will be an opportunity for the living entity to come and live in that ovary. But it's a hassle because, you just want to enjoy, but you don't want to be accountable. You're not sensitive enough that there's an opportunity for this child to come out, and you take care of him, love him, care for him, and help him come to the service and be connected in loving the Supreme Person. But we don't see it like that. We're so much fearsome. We're cowards. We want to do something with no accountability. That is the consciousness of someone who is so engrossed, a hedonist, and his consciousness is narcissistic. The most important person. So we can check that in ourselves also, if we're like that. So the more we see these impediments, then we should be taking shelter of God. We should be taking shelter. Okay? They believe to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. So when a person, we're not here to be sanctimonious and telling you're bad, you're sinful, you're unholy. No. We're teaching you the science to be free. Because the conscious, you're already imprisoned you're inside this body. You're also imprisoned by the consciousness, by the mind. Being dragged by the desire, we become enslaved. And the process we're following is to become free, to direct the mind and see the desires where it's leading us and make a decision. Stop. I will direct my life where I should be directing it in harmony with the Supreme Person. Okay? That's why you see the result. So many drug lords, so many pushers, Look around. Society has become so degraded because of the influence of materialism. People, individuals are identifying themselves as the body, and they're trying to find happiness and fulfillment and security in this temporary finite world. Then we should also check, do I belong to this class of people? Or I am being contaminated and being diverted and focused by materialistic education, that the goal of life is economic development. So you can check that in yourself. How selfish I am. So it is a science to be able to introspect, to meditate. What separates me from divinity? Meaning transcendental to this world. Okay? The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my scheme. So much is mine. So much is mine. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future. More and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifice. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So you see what separates us? It is dominion, it's control. We are stealing God's property. We have a quota allotted to us by God, and everything that here belongs to someone, not us. Even this body is made out of mud, does not belong to us. We belong to God. Everything belongs to God. But in this consciousness of plus, we become hard-hearted. We're not able to see we're not able to focus and get in touch with what will satisfy our heart. That's why we try to enjoy in this world. It's disposable. Like now, there's abortion clinic. Wow, you get this, for a month, I did not have menstruation. And then you check, you buy they have this checklist. They urinate and put it inside their organ and see, wow, 6 weeks old. Then you go to the abortionist because you don't want to take responsibility. You want to enjoy, but you don't want to become accountable. You're not seeing the opportunity to be able to have the child because your goal in life, the senses, has been the driving. The mind is the driver now, driving the senses and trying to fulfill these desires, unlimited desires. And you're always anxious. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by network of illusion, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down into hell. Okay? Self-complacent and always impudent, hard-headed, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes perform sacrifice in the name only without following any rules and regulation. Okay? That's what they do, di ba? People have this sacrifice, animal killing, then sacrifice. We have this fiesta and everybody gets intoxicated in the mode of ignorance, you know. The power of Maya or illusion, material nature, is insurmountable. And only one who takes shelter, takes this path under the guidance of the Supreme Person, who is the controller, the source of the three modes of material nature, can cross over this ocean of misery. And what is that misery? It's the burning of lust in our heart, that we are always empty-hearted. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, and lust and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and the bodies of others, and blaspheme against real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, such person can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. There are three gates of hell. There are three gates leading to this hell. There are three gates leading to this hell. Lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. The man who has escaped the three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, perform acts conducive to self-realization, and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So, there's a story here. When I was a kid, I can adapt and I can relate, this. The story of the boy who cried wolf? Yeah? He's there, he's so there taking care of the sheep, Then what happened was, he wants to play joke, and he cried, wolf, wolf, wolf. And the community, oh, there's wolf, danger. So they ran to assist him, to assist him. When they came there, he was there laughing, laughing. Laughing, laughing. I fooled you, yeah? And then all of them, their intent to help him subside, and they felt bad in their heart. This kid, this guy, So the next time, he did it again. You know what happened? They ran again to save him, to save the sheep, because there's bad wolf, But when they came there, he started laughing to his heart's content, laughing and laughing, And they felt so bad in their heart. This guy is really a prick. He's a punk. So they left. The next time, the wolf really came. And when the wolf came, he cried again, wolf, wolf, help me, help me. But no one came. And the wolf ate the sheep. So you're given this opportunity to fan up, to be directed in the word of shelter in this divine world. But if we are desire-driven, motivated by lust, anger, and greed, we become hard-hearted. We take this process very lightly and instead be guided our false ego. Then, that door, we enter the door of lust, anger, and greed. And at the time we leave this world, our master is the mean master. Illusion. We suffer. You live separated from this divine world of God's love because of the direction you have taken. then you'll be responsible for your action. Now, if you want that world, that's your freedom. So there's this story in the Pastimes of Lord Krsna, in the Pastimes of Lord Krsna, when this old lady who came to the house of Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, she's kind of vegetable, fruits like that, And she came to the house of, Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj. And she saw Lord Krsna. And what a beautiful child. She got her heart so attracted to this child. So small. Like, when baby grows up, so small. And Mother Yasoda bought some fruits. And the child's there, opening his hands. Lord Krsna, opening his palm. So small. And he went inside and got some grains, to barter. But the lady, so much, wanting to please the child, gave him fruits on his palm, holding it. It's so spontaneous for that person. So spontaneous. What a beautiful child. And he's asking something. He wants some fruits. And he has some grains to barter. And automatic, Automatic, So, when she looked at her basket, she was so amazed because it's filled up with valuable jewels, sapphires, ruby, diamonds. Wow, what happened? Krishna blessed her. Not only that, because it's spontaneous for her to offer to the Supreme Person, to please the Supreme Person. It's a word of relationship in transcendental happiness to do the will of God. So one time, we were here in Madana. We have this program in the gym. The Ibon Adarna? You know that? The Ibon Adarna? The father is very sick. Yeah? He's very sick, and there's only one way that he can be cured. There's this Ibon Adarna, the bird that sings so nice, that when that bird sings, the father can be saved. So he sent his two sons and the other one, The two sons, when they met this beggar, because there's a catch there, This beggar, an old lady, please asking alms. Asking alms, yeah? And what happened was, get away from me. We're in haste. We're in haste. We have to go to get the Ibong Adarna. Okay? That magical bird. And they don't know that if they go there and the Ibon Adarna comes, and when she sings her Twitter with her, the sound of the bird, there's an effect upon them. They'll get what? They get sleepy, and if the bird, poo on their head, their body becomes stone-like. They cannot move. Yeah, okay? You can remember that? They were not given that instruction. They don't know because they're gonna get the Ibong Adarna, okay? So when this young son, he went there, and this lady, giving her, asking alms, because he's kind-hearted, because he's a prince, so wealthy, he got everything. So when he came with this old lady, who's in that case a fairy, and asking for alms, he gave her. And you know what happened? He was instructed by that lady that when the Ibon Adarna comes, you must stay awake. You must stay awake. Why? Because the singing of that bird brings you to sleep. And when you sleep, she'll poo-poo on your head. You become a stone. And what will I do? Okay, get this lemon, and cut your palm. And you put this, that you'll experience this painful sensation that even though you hear that song of that sweetness, you'll be aware and you'll be able to catch the Ibong Adarna. Okay? So, all of us here, because we are so much attracted to mundane sound, that result is we become conscious of this world. And if the sound is based upon the three modes of material nature, the sound. For example, you hear the song of who's this guy? Who plays this symphony? Beethoven. Wow. Everybody's so silent, Wow, the influence of mode of goodness, Everybody there sitting down, O kaya the waltz, everybody's, psst, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. We're listening. We're wanting this experience of calmness, But if you pass by here, Kibawe, ista, 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 tak, 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 ista, 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 di ba? And everybody, ista, 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 yeah? Huh? So, my point is this. When we are not under this divine world, this divine consciousness, the will of God, and this direction is not under this shelter of God's care and embrace, then our life becomes failure. That stone, you'll be suffering here, birth after birth. And you can check that within yourself. We're not talking here about mysticism. We're talking here about the great mystic power that we all are into. We have this great mystic power because we're divine. Life, we can make decision to say no, to stop. But it takes effort. That's why the third prayer of Lord Chaitanya, one can chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, feeling himself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. So when one chants the holy names of the Lord, the first effect is he will understand his divine nature. His heart becomes softened. It will not be hard anymore. He now sees that whatever activities he does will have a great effect upon him. And now it's a relationship with God. Don't you see? There's some, these people who are rock and roll. I never cried, And the boys, they never cry, because you think I'm macho, You never cry. People, they cry here. Instead of that crying is the tears of anger. How come I cannot get what I want? But there's another cry, when you're humble, when you're feeling you're lost, and you're not all powerful, and you're able to listen, you're able to be given this opportunity that yes, I can take shelter of someone who loves me eternally. My eternal friend, Krsna, my spiritual master, my eternal friend, who loves me unconditionally, no condition. I don't need to put up. I don't need to make believe I'm perfect. Because he sees me. I have so many issues. I've been here for so long. What is important now is the consciousness that I must be developing, uncovering my true identity, to be in harmony with what is God's will. So that the relationship with God and the spiritual master is the relationship of love that I cling to. I try. Now I see myself, I'm a disloyal person. I'm a dishonest person. I'm a liar. I'm a thief. But in this relationship, I want it to be pure. And who will help us? God Himself. Because God gives us direction in our heart. He tells us, I am the one who's guiding the living entity. He's the Lord within the heart. But the meditation we have been covered, is like a shell. You know, it's an imprisonment. You think everybody's free? You're already covered by this body. And then you're also covered by influence and imprisoned by the mind, where lust and anger is. So this person who is so impudent, hard-headed, he plays games. And although he knows that he can be saved, like this, the boy who cried wolf, you know. But he did not take seriously, you know, what can protect him. And these two sons who tried to get the Ibo Nadarna, because they're not able to see, you know, the drive of the mind and not experiencing love for others, care for others, the person who should be helping them, they stay away from us. So now, the living entity, all of you here, your teachers, all those listening, God's grace, God's love is descending because of our spiritual master. We're not here to judge people. We're not here, you know, to be sanctimonious, you know, to be imposing. But it is a science that if we understand this, we become seers of the truth. We can now be understanding that yes, what I'm longing, that this, my divinity, this great mystic power I have to make decision to do the will of God, I'll use it to do the will of God. That's why the third prayer of Lord Chaitanya, one falls down in humility, in humbleness, please protect me. And it comes when you chant the holy names of God, because it's a prayer in meditation relating to God, and He embraces you. That is the process of yoga system. It is a sustainable, eternal program. That's why you can see here in Madana, Mohana, there's no membership. Because what we teach, coming from the spiritual master, is a sustainable, eternal world connected with your divinity, a spirit soul, transcendental to this miserable world. So you need no need to scratch and scratch and scratch until it becomes a wound. Then your attitude now is a word of caring and love. That's why to enter that word, God Himself will be the medium, will be the process. Just like when Lord Jesus Christ telling us, love the Father with thy whole heart, thy whole mind, thy whole being, everything. And second unto that is love your neighbors. Love yourself as you love others as you love yourself. How can you do that when you're so much engrossed? Just like what I'm telling you, the example I gave. In this materialistic, narcissistic, hedonistic environment, it's a disposable world. And everyone, they don't want to take responsibility. Very rare. But you know, because it's the nature of a mother to have a child. You have this womb wherein a child can grow. You know, sometimes they have this surrogate mother, you know. Because those individuals who cannot have a child, they go to someone, you know. In America, they have this business. You know what's this business? It's like you don't have a child, and this guy, you know, They have this high-tech laboratory, and big area, and they have this picture, Miss World, supermodel, super intelligent, and then you go there. Can I have a child? Because we cannot, my wife, she cannot, have a child because of her problem with her ovary, And also me, I'm impotent. And I want to have a child, okay? So there are pictures there. You want the picture of, Schwarzenegger, Rambo, they're there, everyone, And there's supermodel, There's a level, I want to have a child like someone who has the intelligence of Einstein, the beauty of, the beauty of this supermodel, who came from Kibawe, previously Miski Urao, now supermodel, I want someone like that. And this person who's so bright, like, he's intelligent. He has got this wit, like, who's this guy? Job. Mr. Job, who's gone already, Or Mr. Mo, Okay? And they tell, okay, we have this. It's like, it's like they have rooms there, Okay, you can have this child, and they have artificial insemination, And then that semen, put it outside, they call it, and they have it outside test tube babies, they call it test tube, and put it in the womb. And the mother who takes care of that baby as a surrogate mother, she's healthy physically, and you're expecting to have a perfect child. Like the Nazis, you know the Nazi? Yeah, the Gestapos, Yeah, during the time of Himmler, they want a perfect, a perfect human being. You want, because Filipinos, dark color, dark, I want, I want a male child, I want triplets. Yeah, same call. So they do that. But the mother, what the mother, when you have a child, sometimes here in the Philippines, because we are a very poor country here, some individuals, they have this wedlock. They get pregnant. And the husband, they keep the child, even without the husband. They keep it. Because when the child comes, that becomes their center of affection. They love the child. Because it's natural for a mother to love a baby. You have seen this baby who's so helpless? And everybody, oh, so cute, so cute, so cute. But you don't do that to Sir kid who's so big. So cute, kid. You don't do that. But with the baby who comes here, helpless, even though she rolls around the poo-poo and the wee-wee, oh, so cute, so cute. Everybody kisses him, So my point is this. That's the reason. It's just a humor, We must understand our true transcendental nature and be guided by God Himself. His love, His care, under the guidance of our spiritual master, who is the confidential loving servant of the Supreme Person, who has unconditional love for the Supreme Person, who is beyond transcendental to the modes of material consideration, material nature. He's transcendental. His world is unalloyed pure devotion. And we learn that from him. So you come in contact with the science, it's like the sun. It's not yet appearing on the horizon, but it's beginning to become clear. You begin to see, oh, this world is crazy. How can I get out of this crazy world? First, you must purify the mind, direct the mind, purify your heart, and God can only do that. Not by your own power. Because God is a person who has His own will. And you, as individuals, you have your own will also. But because we are not self-sufficient, we are not all-powerful, we're not in control. Our true transcendental nature is to be rendering pure loving service to the Supreme Person. That's why when Lord Krishna came here, all His associates came. And we are shown how spontaneous their life, their love, in harmony with the pleasure of the Supreme Person. But in these analogies I give, how distant these individuals with that natural rendering loving service, unalloyed devotion. So we can check how we are faring in this understanding and how we are applying the process of purification. Just like if your hands are dirty, like this COVID pandemic now, you have to wash your hands, 20 seconds. But if there's bacteria there, you just put your hand, then you spit on your hand, you wipe it, then it won't get clean, So the process we are following, you must do the work. A certain activity leads to a certain consciousness, and a certain consciousness leads to a certain activity. We are accountable. We must be guided. We must hold the rein, the horses. We must hold the rein, the mind, and direct it. Now, not by our own power, but the embrace of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's stated by our instructing spiritual master through scripture that God is not different from His holy names. He's transcendental. We are deep. We are not this body. The sound mango and the object mango is different. You say mango, 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 you won't taste the mango. But if you say water, 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 the object water and the word water is different. Okay? You have to take that water, get a glass and open the faucet and drink the object water. But with God, it's transcendental. It's life, just like you, the spirit soul. We are eternally connected with the Supreme Person, life. And the reason we're suffering is because we are in the world that is the world of suffering. Now, it's your choice to make that choice. And you're not alone because God will be there if we follow the path. It is about directing our love, what is inherent in us. Haribol, Namaste.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Karuna Radha Krishna Prasnayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Karuna Radha Krishna Prasnayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana.
Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana.
Bhakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Ganadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Vasudeva Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga